The first thing I notice walking through our front door is the smell of Cap's Crunch. At 6 in the evening, my stomach clenches as I drop my overnight bag in the cramped entryway of our suburban ranch house. Maddie, Max, I call out, my voice echoing through the too quiet space. In here. Their synchronized voices drift from the kitchen, accompanied by the clink of spoons against ceramic. I shoulder past a tower of unfolded laundry on the dining room table, breathing through my mouth to avoid the musty scent. The twins sit at our scratched kitchen counter, both still in their school uniforms from St. Augustine's Elementary. Wrinkled worksheets spread between their cereal bowls, soggy bits of yellow squares floating in milk. Hey guys! I ruffle Max's perpetually messy hair, noting the dark circles under Maddie's eyes. Long day. Mom said she'd be home for dinner. Maddie mutters, not looking up from her math problems. Her pencil moves in tight, angry circles. The cafeteria had fish sticks. Max adds, wrinkling his nose. We couldn't eat them. I open the fridge unsurprised to find mostly condiments and a half-empty carton of milk. The freezer yields only ice cube trays and forgotten pot pies. My chest tightens as I remember the grocery money Mom promised to send for my weekend home from community college. Let me grab something from upstairs, then we'll order pizza. The words taste like defeat in my mouth. I'd been saving that 20 for gas. The twins perk up, but I'm already heading toward Mom's room, my fingers brushing the house key in my pocket. The one she doesn't know I copied last summer, just in case. Just for moments like this. Mom's room smells like the vanilla perfume she's worn since I was 12, when Dad walked out and she started working double shifts at the hospital. Back when I first learned to make mac and cheese without help, to check homework, to become the responsible one. The safe sits in her closet, hidden behind a rack of scrubs. My hands shake as I input the combination my birthday because Mom said she'd never forget it that way. Inside, tucked behind insurance papers and Dad's old wedding ring, should be the envelope. $8,000 in crisp hundreds, Grandma's college fund for me. The money that was supposed to cover next semester's textbooks and my share of apartment rent near campus. My fingers touch cold metal. Empty space. Nothing. The room spins as I dial Mom's cell, each ring stretching into infinity. Honey! Her voice sounds lighter than it should. I'm at dinner with the girls from work. Everything okay? The safe. My voice cracks. Grandma's envelope. Where is it? Silence stretches between us, thick with unspoken accusations. The furnace broke last month. She finally says, the words clipped. Things happen, Samantha. You've never had to pay real bills. That was my college money. The words scrape my throat. Grandma left it for school. And I left you money for groceries, didn't I? A man's low laugh echoes in the background. Listen, I can't talk right now. We'll figure something out later. Mom. The line goes dead. I sink onto her bed, the springs creaking beneath me. On her nightstand, a bank statement peeks out from beneath a fashion magazine. My hand moves without conscious thought, pulling it free. Spa visits, concert tickets, a charge from Nordstrom that could have covered 2 months of my textbooks. My phone buzzes, a text from Max. Mom said we can't tell Sam about Vegas. The words blur as memories flash through my mind, missing my National Honor Society ceremony because Maddie had strep throat, turning down the National Science Foundation summer program because no one else could watch the twins. Mom's voice syrupy sweet. You're the mature one, sweetie. I can trust you. Trust. What a joke. Downstairs, I hear Maddie helping Max with his multiplication tables. Their voices carrying the same patient tone I used when teaching them years ago. They shouldn't have to be so grown up. Not like I was. I stare at the empty safe, at the bank statement clutched in my trembling hands, at the text glowing on my phone screen. The choice stretches before me like a chasm. Confront the woman who raised me or walk away in silence. But silence, I realize, watching my knuckles whiten around the paper, isn't really a choice at all. Not anymore. I stand smoothing Mom's comforter with mechanical precision. The same way I've smoothed over her absences, her broken promises, her convenient forgetfulness. My whole life reduced to covering her tracks. Walking downstairs, I hear Max laugh at something Maddie said, the sound pure and bright and achingly young. I pause in the doorway, watching them bent over their homework heads close together, still innocent enough to believe in promises. My phone feels heavy in my hand as I pull up the search bar. Legal guardian requirements, State of Ohio. One of us has to be the adult here, and it won't be her. An hour later that day, the bank statement flutters from my fingers to the carpet of Mom's bedroom, like confetti at a funeral. Behind me, the twins laugh at some cartoon downstairs, the sound piercing through the fog in my brain. I bend down, my hand trembling as I pick up the paper. The numbers blur before my eyes: $479 at Nordstrom, $280 at Blue Lagoon Spa, $750 at the Mirage Hotel Las Vegas. My phone buzzes. Uncle Mark's name lights up the screen. "Your mother called," he says without preamble. "Said you were asking questions about money. The college fund is gone." The words scratch my throat. She said it was for the furnace. A heavy sigh crackles through the line. "Sam, there's something you need to know. Your dad's been sending child support checks every month since he left." The room tilts sideways. I grab the edge of Mom's vanity, my knuckles white against the wood. "How much?" "$800 per kid. Should have covered groceries, school supplies, clothes, the cereal bowls downstairs, the wrinkled uniforms, Max's shoes held together with duct tape." That's impossible. But even as I say it, memories flash through my mind: Mom's new designer purses, weekend trips with the girls from work, the constant takeout when she bothered to come home at all. "I kept quiet too long," Uncle Mark says. "But after what happened with the trust fund, look, I have copies of the canceled checks, every single one." The bedroom door creaks open. I whirl around to find Linda, Mom's best friend, frozen in the doorway with a laundry basket. "Oh, Samantha, honey, I didn't know you were home." Her eyes dart to the bank statement in my hand. "Your mother asked me to grab some things while she's out." With Derek. The name tastes bitter. Mom's new boyfriend, always hovering at the edges of our lives, with his expensive watch and calculating smile. Linda shifts the basket, avoiding my eyes. "Listen, about that loan she took from the college fund 6 months ago. I told her she needed to pay it back before you found out." Loan. The word echoes in my head. 6 months ago. Linda backs away, her face pale. "I shouldn't have. Forget I said anything." But I'm already moving, yanking open Mom's desk drawer. Credit card statements spill out, some still sealed. My fingers tear through envelope after envelope, names of stores jumping out like accusations: Tiffany & Co., Saks, Fifth Avenue. First-class tickets to Miami. My phone chimes with a text from Mrs. Patterson next door. "Been meaning to tell you. That spare room over my garage is yours if you need it. No questions asked." Before I can respond, an email notification pops up from my college advisor. "Emergency financial aid appointment available tomorrow at 9 a.m. Let's explore your options." The front door slams downstairs. Heavy footsteps on the stairs, accompanied by a voice I've grown to dread. "Susan, babe, you up here?" Derek appears in the doorway, his usual smirk faltering when he sees me surrounded by the scattered evidence of years of theft. "Well, well." His tone shifts to something oily. "Going through Mommy's private papers. Pretty ungrateful after everything she sacrificed for you." I stand slowly, credit card statements clenched in my fist. Everything she's sacrificed. Like the child support checks she never spent on us, or my grandmother's college fund she's been draining for months. His face hardens. "You're poisoning those kids against their mother, making up stories because you can't handle not being the center of attention anymore." "Get out!" The words come out sharp as glass. "Or what?" He steps closer, using his height to loom over me. "You'll run to Daddy." "Oh wait, he didn't want you either." The sharp ring of my phone cuts through the tension. Emma's mom, her voice warm and firm. "Honey, we have the guest room ready whenever you need it. No time limit." Derek sneers, "Playing the victim to anyone who'll listen." I meet his gaze, my voice steady. "No, I'm done playing anything." Downstairs, I hear the twins singing along to their show voices, clear and innocent. They deserve so much better than cereal for dinner and broken promises. My laptop sits open on Mom's bed, the screen glowing with an emergency student loan application. But next to it lies Grandma's old jewelry box, the antique pieces inside worth enough for first month's rent and a security deposit. The choice crystallizes like ice in my chest. I pull up my bank's website, fingers flying over the keys as I open a new account. One Mom can access. One that will hold the proceeds from Grandma's sapphire pendant and pearl earrings. Derek watches from the doorway, his smirk returning. She'll never sign your FAFSA if you do this. Kiss that fancy education goodbye. Maybe. I close the laptop with a snap. But the twins will have dinner tonight. Real dinner. As I head downstairs clutching Grandma's jewelry box, my phone lights up with one last message. A photo from Uncle Mark Grandma's old Bible, and tucked inside its pages, a safety deposit box key I never knew existed. Sometimes inheritance isn't about money at all. It's about finally seeing the truth. A day later, Facebook glows blue in the dark of my dorm room. Mom's latest post fills my screen. Sometimes the people who hurt you most are the ones you gave everything to protect. Praying my daughter remembers her family values. 27 sympathetic comments, 12 heart reactions, 3 shares. My finger hovers over the keyboard, throat tight with unspoken truths. But before I can type, a knock at my door sends me scrambling to close the laptop. Package delivery. Derek's voice slides through the crack under my door like oil. My heart pounds against my ribs. Mom's boyfriend shouldn't know my dorm address. I grab my phone, already dialing campus security. Come on, Samantha. His knuckles rap again harder. Just trying to help fix this mess between you and your mother, the dispatcher answers. I whisper my location, backing away from the door. You're making Susan sick with worry. Wood creaks under his weight. Those kids need their big sister. Max cried at breakfast yesterday. The mention of my brother's name ignites something molten in my chest. The twins need stability, I call out, voice steadier than my hands. They need more than cereal for dinner and empty promises. Listen here. But footsteps in the hallway cut him off. My resident advisor's voice, then campus security. Derek's shoes squeak against linoleum as he retreats. My phone buzzes. A text from Mom. Your sister won't come to my birthday if you don't. Stop poisoning them against me. I sink onto my bed, springs creaking under the weight of choices I never wanted to make. The twins' school photos smile at me from my desk, bright eyes matching dimples trust I can't betray. My academic advisor's voice echoes in my head from yesterday's meeting. Samantha, your research proposal on cellular regeneration is exceptional. Professor Williams specifically requested you as her assistant. The position would cover next semester's tuition, a step toward medical school, toward freedom. Another buzz. Mom again. Remember when you were little and promised to always take care of us? What happened to my responsible girl? The words blur as I remember a conversation with the campus counselor last week. She'd leaned forward, eyes gentle but firm. There's a term for what you experienced. Parentification. It's a form of emotional abuse. I'd argued defending Mom's choices. Single parent, hard life. But the counselor had simply opened a folder showing me patterns I'd been too close to see. My grandmother's safety deposit box. Key feels cold against my palm. I found it yesterday, tucked into her Bible with a letter I've already memorized. My dearest Samantha, if you're reading this, you've finally seen what I've watched happening since you were 12. The way Susan uses your strength against you. Your love as a weapon. I always knew you'd need protection from her good intentions. The second account is yours alone. She can't touch it. Use it wisely. All my love. Grandma Rose. The annual Rivers family Easter gathering looms tomorrow. Mom's territory, her rules. But this time I have my own playbook. Uncle Mark calls that evening. Your mother's telling everyone you're having a breakdown. His voice carries decades of resignation. Claims the stress of college made you paranoid. Are you believing her? The question comes out sharp enough to cut. Silence stretches between us. Then, not anymore. I've watched her do this for 20 years. Running up Susan's credit cards. Enabling her emergencies. I should have spoken up sooner. Better late than never. I open my laptop, pulling up the legal documents I've spent weeks preparing. I need a favor. The next afternoon, sunlight streams through stained glass as relatives fill my grandmother's old church. Mom holds court near the punch bowl, voice carrying, "Such a shame when children turn against their mothers." I step through the door. Conversations stutter to silence. Samantha. Mom's arms open wide, performance perfect. My responsible girl home at last. The old me would have folded into that embrace, accepted the role of prodigal daughter. But that script burned with the empty envelope in her safe. Let's talk about responsibility. My voice cuts through the manufactured cheer. About 12-year-olds cooking dinner while their mothers at bars. About college funds disappearing into Nordstrom bags. About Vegas trips while the twins eat Captain Crunch for dinner. You're obviously upset. Mom's smile wobbles. We can discuss this privately. No. The word rings like a bell. No more private discussions, no more secrets. I pull out my phone, scrolling through screenshots. Would you like to explain these credit card statements to everyone, or should I? Derek steps forward, shoulders squaring. That's enough. Back off. Uncle Mark's hand lands on Derek's shoulder. The girl's talking. Mrs. Patterson, our neighbor of 15 years, moves to stand beside me. I've documented every night those children were left alone. Every time Samantha had to leave her college classes to handle an emergency you created. Mom's face drains of color. You can't. I filed for legal guardianship of the twins yesterday. My hands don't shake anymore. The hearing's next week. I have character witnesses, financial records, and school documentation. I'm their mother. And I'm their sister. The one who actually shows up. The room spins with whispers. Aunts exchange glances. Cousins step back. The facade of family loyalty cracks like thin ice. Later in my car, Uncle Mark hands me a thick envelope. Bank statements, tax records, everything they'll need to see the pattern. My phone lights up. A message from Mom's friend Linda. Susan's talking about moving to Florida, taking the twins. The steering wheel warms under my grip as I start the engine. One more card to play. I didn't expect it so soon, but I'm not 12 anymore. And this time I'm ready. Professor Williams' business card sits in my wallet next to the court summons and Grandma's letter. Tomorrow I'll accept the research position, file the emergency custody papers. Finally, choose my own future. The twins are staying with Mrs. Patterson tonight. Safe, protected, loved. And for the first time in years, so am I. Later that day, Mrs. Patterson's kitchen smells like coffee and determination. Stacks of paper cover her formica table, each pile a testament to my mother's failures. Bank statements, school absence records, photos of the twins eating cereal for dinner while wearing wrinkled uniforms. Sugar. Mrs. Patterson asks her weathered hands, steadying a porcelain cup from her wedding set. No thanks. I sort another batch of credit card statements, my highlighter marking each suspicious charge. The judge needs to see the pattern. The doorbell chimes. Emma's mother, Barbara, walks in, carrying a thick manila envelope. Her silver hair catches the morning light as she settles into a chair beside me. The school counselor came through. Barbara slides a report across the table. Documentation of every time the twins showed up without lunch money or proper winter clothes. My throat tightens as I scan the pages. December 2024, Maddie wearing canvas sneakers in snow. February 2025, Max going 3 days without lunch. March, both twins falling asleep in class after another night alone. The back door creaks open. Uncle Mark steps in from the garage, his maintenance uniform stained with grease. Your mother's at work today. He drops a visitor log on the pile. Though, according to this, she's called in sick 12 times since January. While posting pictures from Atlantic City, I pull up Mom's social media on my phone. The timestamp matches her latest sick day. My phone buzzes. Derek's number. Listen here, you ungrateful little witch. His voice drips with false concern. Your mother's having panic attacks because of you? Drop this guardianship nonsense and we'll make it worth your while. Worth my while? The words taste like copper. Like when you convinced her to empty my college fund. $10,000. Paper rustles on his end. Cash. Tonight. Just sign these papers saying you're dropping the case. I hang up, hands shaking. Mrs. Patterson squeezes my shoulder. He's desperate, she says. They all are. The evidence spreads before us like a battle plan. Uncle Mark's documentation of Mom's mysterious overtime that never appeared on her pay stubs. Mrs. Patterson's daily log of when the twins arrived home to an empty house. The school nurse's reports of missed medications and unsigned permission slips. The hearing's tomorrow. Barbara checks her watch. We should review your testimony again. Actually, I pull out my notebook, the pages dense with preparation. I need to stop by the hospital first. At hospital, 2 hours later, Mom's supervisor meets me in the cafeteria, her face grave. I wish you'd come forward sooner, Samantha. We've been investigating missing medications for months. She said the extra shifts were for my college fund. The words scrape my throat. Extra shifts. The supervisor's eyes narrow. Susan hasn't worked overtime since last summer, but she's been logging hours. The final piece clicks into place. Back at Mrs. Patterson's, Emma helps me organize the last of the evidence. Her lawyer father marked each exhibit with color-coded tabs, building our case like a fortress. They're saying you have mental health issues. Emma's voice catches. That you're unstable. Let them. I stack the testimonials from my professors, my work supervisors, the twins' teachers. Each one describing my reliability, my maturity, my consistent care for my siblings. My phone lights up with a text from Maddie Mom's crying in her room. Says, we'll have to move in with Aunt Carol if you don't stop. Aunt Carol lives in a studio apartment in Cincinnati, I tell Emma. She's allergic to children. More manipulation. Emma sorts another pile. Did you see Derek deleted his Facebook right after that photo surfaced? I pull up the image Derek at a casino, my mother hanging on his arm. The date stamp matches the day she claimed she was at a nursing conference. The twin school principal called this morning. Her voice held steel. Those children have been late 26 times this semester, but whenever they're with you, they arrive early. My phone buzzes again. Mom, please. Her voice breaks. You're tearing this family apart. I made some mistakes, but I'm still your mother. The old guilt rises thick as smoke. But behind it, I hear Max's voice asking for dinner money. See Maddie's 2 small shoes. Feel the weight of years spent being the only adult in a house full of children. You're right. My voice stays steady. You are my mother, which is why you should have protected us. The line goes dead. Night falls. Mrs. Patterson makes soup while Barbara reviews my testimony one last time. Uncle Mark brings copies of Mom's bank records showing child support payments that never reached us. The judge ruled on a similar case last month. Barbara stirs her tea. Granted guardianship to a 22-year-old brother. The circumstances weren't half as compelling as yours. My phone lights up with an unknown number. Derek's lawyer-threatening defamation suits. I block it without responding. Get some sleep. Mrs. Patterson pulls me into a hug that smells like talcum powder and safety. Tomorrow's a big day. But as I lay in her guest room staring at the ceiling, another text arrives. This one from Mom's best friend, Linda. I'm so sorry, honey. I should have said something years ago. If you need a witness about the Vegas trips. The final pieces of my mother's facade crumble like sand. Morning brings more texts. Hospital staff offering testimonials. Neighbors documenting the nights they heard the twins crying. Even Derek's ex-wife sharing stories of similar financial schemes. My mother's carefully constructed world of lies collapses under the weight of truth. The courthouse looms ahead, its stone steps weathered by generations of justice seekers. Inside my bag, the evidence feels heavy as granite. Beside me, Mrs. Patterson straightens her Sunday dress. Barbara adjusts her pearls. Uncle Mark's work boots echo on marble. I think of the twins safe at school waiting to hear their fate, of my drained college fund and empty promises, of all the nights I tucked them in while Mom chased dreams that never included us. The bailiff appears at the heavy wooden doors. River's guardianship hearing. My army of supporters stands. We enter the courtroom like soldiers advancing on a battlefield armed with nothing but truth. My mother sits on the other side, mascara already smudged. Derek's chair stays empty. The judge will render her decision in 24 hours. But knowing my mother, knowing the pattern of escalation that's defined my entire life, I brace myself. Her final desperate move is coming. I just pray I'm strong enough to withstand it. The courthouse steps loom before me, granite and steel, reaching toward a colorless February sky. My hand trembles as I straighten my thrift store blazer purchased last week with the last of my work-study money. Behind me, Mrs. Patterson grips the twins' hands, her arthritis-gnarled fingers steady against their fidgeting. Sam, Mom's voice cuts through the morning chill. She hurries up the steps in 4-inch heels, Derek trailing behind her, like a well-trained shadow. Baby, we need to talk. My stomach clenches at the familiar syrupy tone. The same voice that promised to attend my science fair to pay for college to come home for dinner. The hearing starts in 20 minutes. I keep walking focused, locked on the heavy wooden doors ahead. You're making a terrible mistake. She grabs my arm, manicured nails digging into my sleeve. Think about what this will do to our family, to the twins. I turn, finally meeting her mascara-rimmed eyes. Like Vegas did to our family, or the spa weekends, or the concert tickets. Her fingers tighten. You have no idea what it's like raising 3 kids alone. Exactly. The word drops between us like a stone. I don't know what it's like, because I was too busy doing it for you. Derek steps forward, all shark smile and expensive cologne. Listen, kiddo, your mom and I have been talking. We can work something out. A monthly allowance, maybe help with tuition. The laugh that bubbles up tastes like acid. With whose money? Grandma's trust fund that you already emptied. Now that's not fair. Mom's voice rises, drawing stares from other courthouse visitors. I am still your mother. You're too young to understand. While Ms. Rivers, a woman in a charcoal suit, appears at the top of the steps. Judge Harrison will see you now. I nod and head in. The courtroom smells like furniture polish and stale coffee. I slide into the wooden chair beside my attorney. Sarah Chen spreading my documentation across the table. Bank statements, school records, photos of empty cupboards and unpaid bills. 2 years of evidence meticulously gathered while pretending everything was fine. All rise. Judge Harrison peers over her reading glasses, gaze sharp despite her grandmotherly appearance. This is a petition for guardianship of minors Madison and Maxwell Rivers filed by their sister Samantha Rivers. Rather unusual circumstances. Your Honor. Mom's lawyer stands sleek and practiced. My client has concerns about her daughter's age and stability. 19 is hardly. 18 is the legal requirement. Judge Harrison's tone could freeze water. Unless you're suggesting the law is incorrect. He falters. No, Your Honor. But surely you'll agree the situation is irregular. What I find irregular, counselor, is a mother using her eldest child as an unpaid nanny while spending child support funds at the Bellagio. Mom's sharp inhale echoes through the chamber. The next hour blurs into a parade of witnesses. Mrs. Patterson describing midnight babysitting emergencies. The twins' teachers detailing years of missed conferences and unsigned permission slips. Uncle Mark's testimony about child support checks that never reach their intended recipients. And you have proof of these financial irregularities? Judge Harrison asks. Sarah slides forward a thick folder. Bank records showing systematic misuse of funds intended for the children's care. Additionally, we have documentation of Mrs. Rivers emptying a college trust fund established by the children's grandmother. That money was for emergencies. Mom surges to her feet. The furnace broke. The car needed repairs. The Nordstrom receipts suggest otherwise. Sarah's voice remains steady, as do the casino charges. You ungrateful little... Mom whirls toward me, mask finally cracking. After everything I've done for you, I gave up my life for you kids. No. My voice comes out stronger than I expect. You gave up our lives for yourself. The room falls silent. Judge Harrison removes her glasses, folding them deliberately. Mrs. Rivers, would you like to explain why your 19-year-old daughter has more documentation of your children's medical history than you do? Mom's mouth opens and closes. For once, she has no answer. I've seen enough. The judge shuffles her papers. This court finds clear evidence of parentification and financial exploitation. Guardianship is granted to Samantha Rivers with Mrs. Rivers, permitted supervised visitation pending completion of parenting classes and financial counseling. The gavel cracks like thunder. Mom crumples into her chair, shoulders shaking. Part of me wants to comfort her. The old part, the one trained since childhood, to smooth over her messes. But the twins press against my sides, their small hands finding mine, and I remember why we're here. Sam, Maddie whispers, does this mean we get to stay with you? Yeah, Squirt. I squeeze her fingers. We're staying together. Mrs. Rivers, Judge Harrison's voice cuts through the murmurs. The court has also ordered a full audit of your finances. Officer Martinez will escort you to meet with the forensic accountant. Derek vanishes before the bailiff reaches our row. Outside, winter sunlight spills across the courthouse steps. The twins bounce ahead with Mrs. Patterson chattering about pizza to celebrate. I pause at the top, watching Mom being led to a different exit. She glances back once, tears streaking her makeup. For a moment, I see past the designer clothes and careful facade to the woman who once sang me to sleep, who taught me to ride a bike, who slowly disappeared into her own desires until nothing remained but broken promises. I hope you find your way back, I whisper to her retreating form. But we can't wait anymore. Sarah touches my shoulder. Ready to go home. Home. Not the house full of cereal dinners and unpaid bills. Not the endless cycle of covering for Mom's absences. Something new. Something ours. Yeah. I straighten my shoulders, turning toward my siblings. Toward our future. Let's go home. My phone buzzes, a text from Derek demanding I fix this mess. Delete. Another from Mom's lawyer threatening appeals. Delete. The twins wave from Mrs. Patterson's car, faces bright with something I haven't seen in years, hope. Victory tastes like pizza and possibility. But as I watch Maddie help Max with his seatbelt, performing the same protective dance I've done for years, reality settles in my chest. I've won the battle for guardianship. Now comes the real challenge, giving them the childhood I never had. I climb into the driver's seat, catching my reflection in the rearview mirror. Mom's voice echoes in my memory. You're the mature one, sweetie. I can trust you. For once, she was right. Just not in the way she meant. We will build our home again in the years to come. 2 years later, the sound of bacon sizzling pulls me from my textbook before my alarm can ring. For a moment, I blink at the unfamiliar piece of dawn breaking through our kitchen window. No emergency phone calls, no forgotten permission slips, just Max at the stove, his tongue poking out in concentration as he flips another piece. You're up early, I say, marking my place in my organic chemistry notes. He grins proudly, displaying the gap where his front tooth used to be. Maddie bet me I couldn't make breakfast without burning anything. And only scorched 2 pieces. He plates the bacon with the precision of a surgeon, but I buried them under the good ones. From down the hall, Maddie's voice rings out. I smell burning. Do not. Max shoots back, but he's laughing. I watch them orbit each other through their morning routine, no longer the scared children eating cereal for dinner. Maddie quizzes Max on his science vocabulary while braiding her hair. Max sharpens her colored pencils in exchange for help with his book report. They move through our sunlit apartment like well-practiced dancers, so different from the chaos of 2 years ago. My phone buzzes. Mom's number. The old panic doesn't come. I let it ring twice, centering myself in the present moment in the life we've built. Hello, Samantha. Her voice sounds smaller these days. I know it's early, but I wondered if you'd gotten my email about Saturday. I did. I keep my tone neutral professional, like speaking to one of my professors. 3 to 5 at the community center supervised visit. Right, she pauses. I thought maybe we could get ice cream after all 4 of us. 2 years ago, that suggestion would have sent me scrambling to accommodate her to preserve the fantasy of family harmony. Now, I think of the twins' therapy appointments. They're slowly rebuilding trust. Let's see how the regular visit goes first, I say, one step at a time. Of course. Another pause. You sound different, more grown up. The word carries no bitterness now, just truth. I was going to say peaceful. From the kitchen, I hear Maddie declaring, "Mom called again last night. I told her I had a test to study for and couldn't talk." My chest swells with pride. 2 years ago, she would have dropped everything to answer. "I need to go," I tell Mom. "The twins have school." "Sam," her voice catches. "I really am sorry. For everything. The money, the lying, making you be the parent when you were just a kid yourself." The words I've waited years to hear. They settle into my chest, not fixing the past, but offering a foundation for something new. "I know, Mom. I know you are." After we hang up, I find Mrs. Patterson's latest care package on our doorstep. Fresh muffins still warm, and a card for my upcoming graduation. She's written to my honorary granddaughter in her elegant script. The smell draws the twins like magnets. We sit at our small kitchen table, warming our hands on coffee and hot chocolate while sharing the muffins. My medical school acceptance letter hangs framed on the wall next to the twins' honor roll certificates and the photo of us with Emma's family at last Thanksgiving. Professor Williams wants to know if you're still speaking at the support group next week. Maddie says, carefully breaking her muffin into precise quarters. I nod. The circle of metal folding chairs, the faces of other older siblings thrust too early into parent roles. Every month I watch them find their voices, learn to set boundaries, discover who they are beyond their family's needs. Someone has to tell them it's okay to save themselves. Like you did, Max says quietly. Like we all did. The morning sun paints our walls gold, catching the silver chain of grandmother's locket around my neck. Inside, her photo watches over us, her final gift. Not the money in the envelope, but the strength to break free. My phone buzzes again, a text from my mentee in the Young Guardians program. Another teenager discovering she doesn't have to carry her family's burdens alone. "We should get going," I say, gathering empty plates. "You have band practice, and I have that meeting with the state representatives about the inheritance protection bill." The twins pack their bags with practiced efficiency, but pause at the door. Maddie's hand finds mine, Max's fingers linking with his sister's. A chain of survivors stronger together. "Ready?" I ask, though I already know the answer. They nod in unison, stepping into the morning light. Behind us, the apartment holds our rebuilt life. Homework spread across tables, family photos, mixing biological and chosen relatives, the steady tick of a clock marking peaceful minutes instead of crisis countdowns. We walk toward the future, three shadows merging in the sunrise. Not the family we were born into, but the one we chose to become. The one we saved one boundary, one truth, one day at a time. Some people say blood is thicker than water, but I've learned it's love that truly binds, not the obligatory kind, but the type you fight for, the kind you choose every single day. The love that lets you save yourself so you can finally truly save everyone else. And that makes all the difference.